Occult calendar of wealth, fiscal years aligned with solstices and equinoxes. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Money Magic series. Time is money. That phrase is so familiar it has become cliché, but hidden inside it is one of the deepest truths about wealth. Money does not simply move in amounts, it moves in rhythms. Salaries arrive on paydays, bills are due on certain dates, taxes on others, corporate quarters close like clockwork, and entire nations mark their fiscal years with beginnings and endings that often align, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unconsciously, with the great turning points of the natural calendar. What we call accounting cycles are in many ways secularized rituals, synchronized with solstices and equinoxes, the very markers that guided ancient festivals, sacrifices, and harvests. To speak of the occult calendar of wealth is to trace how the timing of money has always mirrored the timing of nature, how our financial systems are built on hidden seasons of sacrifice and renewal, and how every due date we obey still echoes ancient ritual law. If you lived thousands of years ago, your wealth was your harvest. Grain ripened with the sun, animals bred with the cycles of spring, and trade routes opened and closed with the seas. The solstices and equinoxes were not abstract, they were survival. The summer solstice meant abundance, the winter solstice scarcity. Equinoxes marked planting and reaping. Ancient societies timed offerings to gods around these markers, offering first fruits or blood sacrifices to secure fertility and prosperity. Time itself was sacred, and wealth rose and fell on cosmic rhythms. When money replaced crops as the medium of exchange, the ritual timing did not vanish. Instead, it translated. Festivals remained tied to solstices, and with them tax collection. In Mesopotamia, kings proclaimed debt forgiveness, the Jubilee, often linked to seasonal or celestial markers. In Egypt, taxes were gathered after the Nile flood, an event tracked astronomically by the rising of Sirius, the dog star. The Hebrew calendar tied sabbatical years, when debts were released and land rested, to 7-year cycles echoing cosmic order. In Rome, taxes were due with the Saturnalia season, a ritual inversion at the winter solstice. In every case, the flow of money followed the flow of the heavens. Fast forward to the medieval world, and you find the church embedding financial obligations into its own sacred calendar. Tithes were due at certain feast days, often linked to solstices or equinoxes. Easter, tied to the spring equinox, became a season of offerings. Michaelmas, near the autumn equinox, marked the settlement of rents and accounts. The calendar of saints was also the calendar of finance. Farmers paid rents on quarter days, which fell at the equinoxes and solstices. Time was money because time was ritual. When modern states began to codify fiscal years, they often did so by choosing dates that aligned with these ancient markers. In Britain, the fiscal year begins on April 6th, an odd date unless you know its history. It descends from the old Julian calendar, where the new year began near the spring equinox, around March 25th, known as Lady Day. Taxes were calculated from this date, which was tied to agricultural and cosmic cycles. Even after calendar reforms shifted dates, the fiscal year retained its alignment with spring renewal. In America, many corporations end their fiscal year in December, aligning with the winter solstice and the symbolic death and rebirth of time. Others end in March, echoing the spring equinox. The quarter system, 4 3-month cycles, mirrors the 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, winter. Business has literally divided its life into nature's quarters. This is not coincidence. Humans crave rhythm, and wealth is easier to manage when it follows a ritual calendar. Investors know that markets rise and fall with seasonal energy. Sell in May and go away is an old Wall Street saying, acknowledging summer slowdowns. December often brings rallies, the Santa Claus rally, as the year closes, mirroring the optimism of rebirth at the solstice. September is notoriously volatile, as autumn contracts and the harvest ends. These are not mere quirks of psychology. They are continuations of agricultural rhythms translated into financial markets. The occult dimension becomes clear when you examine how states and corporations stage their rituals of wealth around these times. Earnings reports, delivered quarterly, function like seasonal sacrifices. Executives offer numbers to shareholders, who judge them like priests judging offerings. Rewards or punishments follow. Stock prices rise or collapse, just as communities once flourished or withered, depending on whether the gods accepted their gifts. Annual meetings are timed with fiscal cycles, full of ritual speeches, charts, and blessings for the year ahead. The ritual is financial, but the structure is liturgical. Taxes, too, are ritualized offerings. April in America is the month of sacrifice, when citizens send wealth to the state. It is no accident that April coincides with spring renewal, the same season ancient cultures offered first fruits. Tax Day is a modern festival of obligation, a collective act of giving to sustain the larger order. Governments enforce it with the same seriousness priests once enforced tithes. To fail to pay taxes is not only illegal, but sacrilegious in the civic religion of the state. The calendar of taxation is a liturgical calendar disguised as bureaucracy. Even debt collection follows lunar cycles. Many banks set billing due dates around new moons or quarter moons, a practice that quietly aligns money with the lunar month. Payday loans, rent cycles, credit card minimums, all operate on repeating periods that mirror natural cycles. The phrase, once in a blue moon, still describes rare financial opportunities. The alignment of money with moon and sun has never been broken. It is simply hidden under accounting jargon. Consider also the great crashes and reforms. The Panic of 1907 peaked in October, the autumn season of contraction and death. The crash of 1929 also climaxed in October, echoing the same pattern. Markets collapse most often in autumn, when harvest ends and darkness approaches. Investors may blame psychology, but the ritual cycle is evident. Conversely, many great rallies begin in spring, aligning with planting and renewal. Markets obey the occult calendar, whether consciously or not. This structure conditions our emotions. We feel relief in spring as refunds arrive, bonuses are paid, and optimism blooms. We feel pressure in autumn as bills mount, school begins, and obligations tighten. Christmas shopping spikes spending, aligning consumerism with winter rituals of generosity. Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving in America, is a feast of commerce time just before winter darkness, echoing ancient harvest festivals. These cycles keep the economy in rhythm with the seasons, ensuring that money feels natural, inevitable, almost divine. The occult calendar of wealth matters because it hides power. By synchronizing obligations with cosmic cycles, states and corporations harness the deep psychology of rhythm. People are less likely to rebel when payments feel seasonal. Sacrifices are normalized when they align with festivals. Markets appear more legitimate when they mirror the sun and moon. The system sustains itself by cloaking economic mechanics in ritual timing. When you next look at a calendar, notice the layers. Equinoxes still mark transitions in business quarters. Solstices still shadow fiscal years. Lunar cycles still govern due dates. The economy is not abstract. It is timed, ritualized, and patterned after the oldest clocks of all, the heavens. Wealth has always followed the sky, and it still does. That is the occult calendar of money, a hidden liturgy where solstices, equinoxes, and lunar phases dictate not only nature's harvests, but our financial ones as well. Money is time, and time is ritual. When you obey a due date, close a quarter, or file your taxes, you are participating in a modern version of an ancient sacrifice. The forms have changed, but the structure remains. The occult calendar of wealth is the secret spine of the financial world, keeping money in rhythm with the cosmos, binding human lives to cycles far older than banks or corporations. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Manifestation series, where we don't just talk about manifesting, we master it. Because let's be honest, manifestation has been watered down, reduced to vague quotes, mood boards, and empty promises. But you didn't come here to wish. You came here to build a reality that hits different. A reality that responds to your frequency, your language, your alignment, and your decision to stop playing small. This series is not fluff. It's physics, frequency, and fierce creative power. Inside the Manifestation series, you're going to learn how to collapse timelines, shift identities, and speak worlds into existence, just like the greatest minds in history. This isn't just about being positive. This is about being powerful. Here's what you unlock inside. Vision to reality, the vision board course. You've heard about vision boards, but you've never done them like this. This is a full energetic ritual, a precision-coded map for your subconscious, designed to bridge image, frequency, and strategy. It's not arts and crafts. It's blueprinting your future in visual form and turning it into matter. Time, quantum timelines, and why time isn't real. Manifestation doesn't take time. It takes alignment. In this module, I'll show you how time is just a mirror of energy and how to collapse timelines using choice, clarity, and vibration. Past, present, future, they're happening now. And when you know how to navigate time quantum style, you stop waiting and start receiving. Quantum jumping, instantly up level. Your next level life isn't years away. It's one decision away. In this training, you'll learn how to quantum jump, how to shift into a version of you that already has what you desire. This isn't fantasy. It's how high-performance creators, athletes, and spiritual masters leap beyond limits. Jump now. Land in power. Every word. The power of affirmations and spoken language. Words build worlds. In this course, I show you how to use affirmations like spell work, not just repeating empty mantras, but speaking with vibration, intention, and spiritual force. If you've ever felt like affirmations don't work, this will change everything. You'll learn to command your field, not just request from it. The greats, learning from the most exceptional minds in history. We're not the first to master this. In this legendary module, we decode the techniques, habits, and quantum genius of the world's most powerful manifestors, from ancient sages to modern icons. You'll learn how to think like the greats, move like the greats, and manifest like the greats. This isn't another feel-good series. This is a spiritual weapon, disguised as a manifestation course. It's made for leaders, cycle breakers, visionaries, and soul builders. You don't need another wish list. You need a system that teaches you how to bend reality. This is that system. So if you're ready to stop playing with potential and start creating results, Welcome to your next level. The manifestation series is open now. You know what to do. Let's build what they said was impossible and make it inevitable.